Hey everybody, Johnny5Alive here, and welcome to my top 10 most anticipated PC games of 2019. Now this is a traditional top 10 list, so I'm going to be listing them in the order of which is most exciting to me, from 10 to number 1, with a bunch of honorable mentions at the end. And boy, I gotta say, 2019 is an exciting year, and what I'm most excited for is the amount of co-op games that we're getting in 2019. And I'm looking to do a lot of co-op games on the channel for 2019, and this is the year to start. So guys, stay tuned and let's jump into it. Coming in at number 10 on my list is Resident Evil 2, which drops in January, the first game of the year, which I'm excited for. Now, here's the thing. I'm not excited to play the crap out of this game and beat it through. I'm excited for nostalgic reasons. I played Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, Nemesis, and a few others, but the ones that really stick out to me in my memory were the ones that I played when I was younger on the PlayStation, and Resident Evil 2 specifically, I definitely played through a few times. Resident Evil is a game where I can't suffer through it alone. I need someone there on the couch with me, rooting me on, and that for me growing up was my sister and some of my neighborhood friends. They sat through some of these with me and kind of helped me out with the puzzles, helped me out with morale. So having said that, I don't think I'm going to be able to beat Resident Evil 2 unless I decide to stream it and I have you guys rooting me on. But it's definitely one I'm going to buy just to check out, to get those nostalgic feelings, picking between Leon and Claire, going to the cop station, those first memorable scenes. I really want to relive that in a remastered setting. So I'm excited to check this one out, even though it might not be one that I'm going to get a ton of gameplay out of, but it's certainly going to ring on my nostalgic feelings. Number 9 on my list is going to go to Team Sonic Racing, which drops in May. Now, I think this might be an underrated one that it's kind of going under the radar right now, but I am super stoked for this. As a PC gamer, I don't get Mario Go-Karts, and I believe the last Mario Go-Karts that I played were not two-player coach co-op GP, which really disappointed me. Yeah, I don't even think you could do two-player GP. Team Sonic Racing is all about 4-player co-op. You get a team, and your team has to place together to win the GP. So it's like it adds up the whole score of the team to see, you know, if you beat the other teams. And it seems really interesting because there hasn't really been a squad-based racing game. So I'm super stoked about this because I loved Sonic All-Star Racing, but they were missing a few features, which I'm hoping they make up for on this one. And again, it's co-op. So even if I get a week or two of gameplay out of this, I believe it's going to be a very strong week or two and fun moments through and through. Super pumped about that one. Number 8 on my list is going to go to Far Cry New Dawn. This one kind of just slipped in there, was announced at the Game Awards, and it's dropping February. I'm like, holy crap. They're picking up the pieces for Bethesda, and they're saying, hey, if you don't like their post-apocalyptic game, come check out ours. Now here's the thing about me and Far Cry. We go back. I played Far Cry 1 and I love the map editor. I spent so many countless hours creating maps and playing maps with people. I loved Far Cry 1. Far Cry 2 didn't have the charm for me for some reason. I basically dabbled in all the Far Crys for a few hours and none of them really resonated with me for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. I like the gunplay. I like the open world. I like a lot of things about it, but I meandered too much and just got distracted to the point where I wasn't very interested in following the story for whatever reason. I felt like there was just too much to do. It became oversaturated with things to do. And I guess sometimes that can become a fault for games. Now, Far Cry New Dawn, that's why it gets placed kind of low on my list, because I haven't been super excited for Far Cry games in the recent years. It's a post-apocalyptic Far Cry game, and I love me some post-apocalyptic, so I'm really curious to give this one a try, and if it has co-op through and through, that's the deal breaker. I'm gonna love this game, and it gets boosted up on my list if it has good co-op, but as of right now, I'm just curious. Number 7 on my list is going to Rage 2, which drops in May. This one's an interesting one, kind of low on the list as well, but it's Bethesda game. The bar is set high after Fallout 7 76 and all that stuff. They need a good post-apocalyptic game to bring them back. And hey, you know what? Rage 1 I thought was terrible. I don't know what it was. It felt linear, but then it felt sandboxy, but just not done well. I couldn't play it for more than an hour. I was like, I just can't do this. So Rage 2 is questionable because of Rage 1. That's why it's also low on this list. However, the trailers, the gunplay, the amount of stuff to do in this game looks ridiculous. And I love this new innovative style of first-person mechanics where you're throwing down shields, you're dodging, popping stims to go into slow motion combat time. And there's just so many crazy mechanics that make it interesting. I love the little style of the post-apocalyptic with hits of pink and blue. It just has this really unique feel to it. Far Cry Dawn is also kind of going with the same style there, but I think Rage 2 just looks better than Far Cry in terms of just the craziness. If I just look at them both as single-player games, I think Rage 2 looks like the better competitor of the two. But two post-apocalyptic games that I'm super stoked about, and I can't wait to dive into these. Number 6 on my list goes to Phoenix Point. Holy freaking moly, this drops in June, and it's from the creators, the developers of the original XCOM 1. Fun little fact for you guys, you can even check out my Steam profile. Link is down in the description below. If you look at my achievements, I have the achievement for Iron Man Impossible mode for XCOM 1. I think only 0.001% of people in the world have that achievement. Man, that was difficult. I remember playing that game one mission a night for like 2 months straight to do that, and I was sweating bullets every single night. It was intense. So XCOM 2, if you followed my channel from the very beginning when I had like 100 subscribers, that was one of the first games I covered, and it was a buggy mess and a little bit of a disappointment, to the point where I did play a lot of it, but I didn't even complete it. I just felt it wasn't quite there. So the original creators, or a few of the main developers from XCOM 1, are coming forward to develop Phoenix Point, which just looks like a way better version of XCOM. It's what should have been XCOM 2, and the improvements look insane, and I'm super stoked about it. Number 5 on my list might surprise some of you guys, but it is going to The Division 2, which drops in March. Now, I know there was a lot of controversy with Division 1. At the end of the day, I think it was a beautiful game. I loved the snowy map, I loved the city, and I actually really enjoyed the gameplay. But looking at my Steam hours, I only played it for 66 hours. I bought the $120 edition and then didn't even play the DLC that came out because it was so delayed, and by the time it came out, I lost interest in the game, and I lost interest in the game after 66 hours. But I still think $100 or whatever for 60 hours was still pretty decent value, and I did really enjoy doing all the quests. I beat the game front to back. I just didn't really milk the end game content. Another thing I loved about the Division 1 was the snow map. It just made me feel so good. But the Division 2 takes its place in a different setting, and it doesn't have that snow, it doesn't have that charm, but the developers learned from all their mistakes. We're gonna have those operations, those dungeons, those raids right off the bat, that endgame content, a better storyline, a better campaign, more interesting combat scenarios. And one thing that is true about the Division, it has fun gameplay mechanics. So I'm pretty stoked. It's a 4-player co-op game, and I love me some co-op, so games with friends is always good, and this game takes itself seriously, and I definitely going to be playing it for at least a month. Number 4 on my list is going to go to Crackdown 3, which drops in February. Now here's the thing, guys. I did put this one high, but I also feel like I could have easily put it at number 10 as well. Is this a sleeper, or is this a killer? The problem with Crackdown is it's been announced and pushed back so many times that it's become the boy who cried wolf. We're releasing this game, never mind, delayed it 6 months, never mind, delayed it a year. Hey, we're gonna release it, here's a tidbit, here's a sneak peek. There's so much footage on this game, but we don't even know what the game's gonna look like, because the most recent trailers show multiplayer combat arenas only. And then the early alpha videos from like 2 years ago show the world with 0 destruction, and they claim that the world is fully destructible. Now, does that mean just the multiplayer maps, the arenas, are fully destructible, or is the open world sandbox also fully destructible? These are all questions we don't know yet, but they showed some character customization, and it looks freaking off the charts awesome. The combat looks crazy, the gameplay looks fun, the destructibility looks amazing, but am I going to be able to open world sandbox explore with my friends, have all the cool features from Crackdown 1 and 2 with a fully destructible environment that's open sandbox and co-op? I don't know. These are big question marks. All I do know is Crackdown 1 and 2 was pretty fun, but again, it felt like there was just too many things to do, and I did play them for 10 or 20 hours, but something about those games, I couldn't quite finish them through and through. But I think Crackdown 3, if it lives up to the hype that died, it could be a really cool game that everybody enjoys. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. I'm actually super stoked about this, and it being in February, it's one of the first games that I'm hoping to get a good co-op game in. But not even a week after drops the next game on my list, which is Anthem at number 3. Drops in February, a week after Crackdown, and holy freaking moly, I am stoked for this game. A BioWare multiplayer game? Are you kidding me? This is Destiny that we always wanted. This is Destiny on steroids with mechs that fly. You have all the abilities. It's so cool. But this one has some red flags and question marks too. You got EA attached to the name, but they promised that monetization will only come in the form of cosmetics. They said no loot boxes. You see what you get, you buy it, you increase your customization, and there you go. And there is a ton of customization. So I think they're treating it properly. I think it's in the right hands with BioWare. I think the publisher EA is letting up a little bit here, and I have faith in EA this time, especially because it's driven by BioWare. The facts are the facts. The game looks amazing, and the developers are not afraid to showcase it this early on. There are 45-minute live streams, multiples of them, all over their YouTube channel. They're just playing the game, and they're just doing side quests. They're just putzing around doing stuff, and it's not like the craziest mission or, you know, the best showcase of the game. They're like, we're just gonna go play and do random stuff, and they're not afraid to show that, because even just the minor side quests, the minor tasks and combat looks really freaking good. So if the developers could showcase just menial tasks in the game and it looks amazing and I'm sold, then I can't wait to see what the campaign, the town, the storytelling, all that stuff has to offer. And hey, it's 4-player co-op with 4 amazing javelins to choose from, with the Juggernaut, the Assault class, the Scout, and the Caster. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. I'm super stoked for Anthem. I hope it doesn't disappoint. Number 2 on my list goes to Outer Worlds, and I had a hard time not putting this one at number 1. It really hurts me. If you don't know this of me, my favorite game of all time was Fallout 2, which was developed by Interplay, and those developers then went on to form Obsidian. However, their transition between Interplay to Obsidian, they sold the IP of their Fallout game to Bethesda. And I put so many hours into Fallout 2, more hours into Fallout 2 than Fallout 3 and 76 combined. So I love what Obsidian is capable of, and when Fallout 3 dropped, I was extremely disappointed. Fallout 4 was better, but still not what I expected from a Fallout game, and same could be said with 76. So I've been personally sitting back and always waiting for that next Fallout game to be as close to Fallout 2 of an experience in terms of role-playing. It looks like Bethesda is not going to deliver on that for me, unfortunately. But Obsidian is coming forward with the Outer Worlds, and it's not the Fallout IP, but this is what's so amazing about this game. The reason I fell in love with Fallout 2 was not because it was a post-apocalyptic game with this 1940s charm. It was because of the role-playing elements and the gameplay mechanics that Interplay had injected into the DNA of this game. Outer Worlds has that same DNA, and I am looking at that game going, wow, this looks like the Fallout 3 I always wanted, but it's not Fallout. It's not post-apocalyptic. What I can come to realize is it's not necessarily Fallout that I'm craving. It's the DNA of Fallout 2 that I'm craving, and that DNA exists in the Outer Worlds. And here's the thing, it still has this retro vibe about it. Well, they can't really step into post-apocalyptic because they'll breach their terms and agreements with, you know, selling the IP of Fallout to Bethesda there. They can do something like the Outer Worlds, and they can do retro, and they brought together this amalgamation of almost making it Fallout-like. And I am super stoked for this game. I cannot wait. Number 1 on the list is a juggernaut, Borderlands 3. Holy freaking moly. It's to be announced that it's 2019 and it's 85% done. It's in alpha. I mean, these are based off of rumors and, you know, things online, leaks and all that stuff. But yeah, Borderlands 2 was a long time ago and it was probably the last good co-op game that I've played. I've had some fun with other co-op games along the way, but in terms of a real good shooter looter, it's been a while since we've had a solid one, and Borderlands 2 really owns the crown, has the throne, and that's why I have to put it up against Outer Worlds, because it is co-op. And I know when you play with friends and you got loot and you got endgame, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. People still play the crap out of Borderlands 2 today. In fact, I was playing it this year as well. Now, Borderlands 3, I am a little bit skeptical because they were working on that other game. I don't even know the name of it, to be honest. Battle Right or something. So I don't think it's been in development for 7 years, and you know, a lot of people are assuming it's going to be this juggernaut game with multiple planets, but the rumor is there's 2 planets. One's kind of a starting planet, one's like a new one that you play on. I hope it's as vast as 2, but more. And I think a lot of people are putting a lot of expectations on it, where it's going to be 100 times the size. It's going to be Borderlands MMO. It's going to have this and that, and 8 characters at launch. No, it's going to be Borderlands 2, but better, with more abilities, more talents. It's going to be a better rendition of 2, but I wouldn't, you know, put all your money on it and bank on it that it's going to be this game that's been worked on for 8+ years and it's going to be 1,000 times the size of Borderlands 2. I think it'll be better and bigger than Borderlands 2, but maybe by 50%, maybe twice as good if we're lucky. I think there'll be 4 characters to start at launch, a few DLC characters, and all the standard stuff you can expect from Gearbox. I'm super stoked about it though. It's the funnest co-op game that I've ever played. It's so good. I love the loot, I love the shooting, and I can't wait to see what they do with this. Boom. Holy crap, I forgot a game. We're gonna do a number 0 and clipping it in. No idea how this slipped me by, because I actually didn't think it was going to happen in 2019. I almost said 2077. That's right. Cyberpunk 2077. Just Googled it. It looks like they're saying it's going to drop in June 2019. Holy freaking moly, if this is actually happening next year. For some reason I just thought so far ahead, maybe 2020. I just wrote it off in my head like, let's not get hyped about this because I don't want to sit here and count the days for this freaking game. But yeah, this is definitely number 1 on my list. It has that DNA that I talked about with the Outer Worlds. It's got this charm to it, but it has this AAA budget at that of CD Projekt Red, and it has that polish. So it's basically the Outer Worlds on steroids, cyberpunked out, and has that Grand Theft Auto open world feel. It has that Deus Ex style feel to it. I mean, it's amalgamation of all these cool games that I really, really love. And I'm lost for words on this one. It is going to be absolutely insane, and I kind of almost wish it wasn't released in 2019 because this freaking list is so huge already. I don't know where I'm going to find the time to play this game, but I will. That's for sure. I'm going to be dropping whatever I'm doing to squeeze in time for this. So, I mean, wow. Add that one to the list as a number 0, you guys. This is crazy. Oh my god, it just makes 2019 that much crazier. Holy freaking moly. But that's not it, guys. I have a list of honorable mentions. Let's jump into it. Next up is Warcraft 3 Reforged, or remastered. It's said to come in 2019. It's the exact same game as Warcraft 3, but just new models. I loved Warcraft 3. Gotta jump into this and try it out. Now, the only thing I'm not a big fan of with Warcraft 3 in general was the hero system. I didn't like micromanaging this RPG. I really like StarCraft, you know. You don't have to worry about these hero units and leveling them up and getting them gear, because what ends up happening is it's a MOBA mixed with an RTS. and I just want an RTS. So hopefully Warcraft 3 Reforged has some sort of non-hero mode where you're just strategizing what units you build and how you do your bases and expansions. That's what I'm hoping for. Dying Light 2, gotta give a mention here. I was super stoked about the first one, and then I just never played it, honestly. I was oversaturated with the zombie fad that was happening back then. Dying Light 2 is supposed to be a bigger, better version, and I'm sure they're gonna go crazy with it, so maybe this time I'm gonna try it out. And speaking of zombies, looks like the zombie fad is returning, as we have Left 4 Dead 3 dropping next year. And again, it goes hand in hand with Dying Light. These are both two cooperative 4-player games where you get to fight zombies. I gotta try this with my friends. I gotta try them both with my friends, so why not? Let's give them both a go. Let's bring back the zombie fad and see how it does. Next honorable mention goes to Crash Team Racing that drops in June. It's kind of right there with Sonic Team Racing. They're doing this team racing thing, 4-player team-based racing. It didn't make my top 10 list, which Sonic did, because I'm not the craziest fan of Crash Bandicoot. I think I played one of them and I didn't really beat them. You know, when you compare Crash Bandicoot to Sonic and Mario and the kind of the core mascot game characters, Bandicoot was probably the worst of them all, but some people really enjoyed it, and I think the characters in Bandicoot look pretty cool, and the game itself, the racing, actually looks really good. Definitely one that I'm going to check out, though, because I want to play that co-op racing. Next on my list is Biomutant. Q2 of the year, so we don't really know when it's dropping, but it looks really interesting. You're this, like, fox character, and you have all these crazy abilities. It's open world. I don't even really know. It's not really the style of game that I'm normally finding myself playing, but the customization looks crazy, the abilities look crazy, the upgrades, the talent trees, and what you can do with this character looks absolutely absurd, and the world looks beautiful. So this one has me intrigued enough to say, all right, you know what? I'm going to go play an action adventure game and see how it goes. So I want to try my hand at this one. I'm really curious here. But those are my honorable mentions. There's a ton more games, but these are the ones that are announced and for sure coming. And I'm sure there's a bunch that I'll like notice throughout the year. But holy moly, you guys, looking at 2018, I can't even think of 5 games that I bought and really played. I mean, I'm going to actually sit down and see if I can make a top 10 or a top 5 or a top 10 list of my games of 2018. But for me personally, guys, 2018 wasn't the most exciting year, which is surprising. So next year, I mean, I want to play all the games I mentioned, and there's probably some sleepers that I forgot to mention, and then you guys are going to post in the comments below what excites you, and I'm going to go look into those games and go, holy crap, I want those as well. But there's so many games. There's more games than there are freaking weeks in the year for me to play. I don't know how I'm going to divide my time, so we're going to have to look at going into full-time streaming next year, guys, and just see how that goes, because I can't be making videos and not playing games because I'm going to fall so far behind. So we're going to have to just do something different. But holy crap, next year is the year for co-op, and I couldn't be more excited. So if you guys want to come play any and all of these games, what we're going to be doing is I'm creating a Channel 5 Gaming Discord, which is going to basically have the schedule of all the games that are coming out, what we're playing, chat rooms for all those games, basically all games encompassed, and Channel 5 Gaming's finally going to become Channel 5 Gaming. There's still the Channel 5 Planko server, there's still the Channel 5 Fallout 76 server, but those are exclusive for those games. Channel 5 Gaming is going to house all the games that I mentioned in this video, so check the link down in the description below. I'm going to put together an alpha version of this Discord so you guys can start joining it now, and I'm going to build a team and I'm going to play with you guys. I'm going to play with people, figure out what we like, and we're going to stream, make videos, and have tons of fun. Super stoked for 2019, guys. This is the year to be a gamer, and I couldn't be more enthusiastic. Boom. There you guys go. That's going to do it for this video. Love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. What's your favorite games? What are you looking forward to? What on the game list that I mentioned most excites you? Fire away. Can't wait to read your comments. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.